What up? Surviving here in quarantine. Halloween coming up. Wearing my Pete's Dragon costume. What? Just for you guys. Thanks for studying hard on this test. Here's your last video. So this last video has to do with graphing because we didn't do so much with graphing on the practice test, but we did throw it on here for you to look at. I mean last year's practice test. So we're going to start off here, probably just question 17. So you got done with long division and synthetic division. And this is actually not 17. This will be, or this one's, I can't remember which one. But it still lines up. You just have to follow the worksheet carefully. And so this one says, choose all the factors that create the polynomial. Choose all the factors that create the polynomial that create the following graph. All right, so basically we're looking at where the graph crosses on the x-axis and whether it crosses through or bounces, right? And so that's pretty important to understand that knowledge. So if you haven't watched my videos for 2.6, 2.7, then definitely go back and watch those. There's a pretty long one that's really good. And so we'll just show this to you right now, just in case, but definitely go back and watch those. Right. So if you take a look at this graph right here, let's zoom in a little bit. So you can see here that, so the graph is going to come down. Well, first of all, the graph is pointing up in two directions. So that means it's going to be like x squared or x to the fourth power. Right, and it's both going upwards for the end behavior, so that's important to realize. And then right here it's going to cross right at -2. So then you're going to throw that into a parentheses, and so I mean, think about it. X equals -2 is what we're talking about. That's the x-intercept. But then when you add 2 to both sides, then you're going to throw that into the factor form, right? So add 2 to both sides. So then you're just left with x plus 2. So that's one of our factors there. Wow, this mouse is hard to maneuver. Sorry about that. Maybe we'll just use the text editor. So x plus 2, there you go. And so that's one of the factors that we could look for. Now you also want to look at the multiplicity, and what I mean by multiplicity is that it just crosses through, right? So it crosses through, and that means it's going to be that means if it crosses through, it's just going to be 1, multiplicity of 1. And so with the multiplicity of 1, that goes right here, and so that's going to be one of our factors, x plus 2 all to the first power. Okay, then also it looks like this is 0. That's 1, 2. That's 0. So it looks like at -1, it also crosses through. So not a -1, remember? Not a -1, but a +1. So another one of our factors then will not be a -1, because that's x equals -1, but we add it to the other side, so it's going to be a +1. Also multiplicity to the first power, because it crosses through, right? Crosses through, goes down, comes back up, goes up, comes back down. Now, this is different now. So at 2 now, it actually is going to be bouncing. And so because it actually bounces right there, that means that we're going to have an even multiplicity of 2 or 4 or 6. Now I'm about to put an x plus 2, but that's actually wrong because this is a +2. So then when you put in the parentheses, it's going to be a -2. Again, it's going to be bouncing, and so even means bounce. Bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun. So bounces for even. Okay, so that means we have our 3 answers, x plus 2 to the first power, x plus 1 to the first power, and x minus 2, because that's a shift to the right 2, squared. So we'll look for our answers. Here we go, x plus 1, x plus 2, and x minus 2 all squared. Got it. So there's that one. I hope that makes sense. So then, if I was you, I'd pause me now, pause me, and you try the next one on your own. Try the next one. I know, you're just waiting for answers. No, you gotta pause me. Pause me. Pause me. I'm waiting. Okay, so now we're looking at this one. And so for this particular one, you can see kind of that it crosses through at positive 2, it crosses through at negative 3, and then it bounces at negative 1, right? So negative 1 is going to have a bouncy. Now remember, it's not x minus 1, it's the opposite, so x plus 1 all squared. So let me go through and look for x plus 1 all squared. Don't see it anywhere. Boom, there it is. That's the answer. Nice. So let's verify. We have the x plus 3, which is a minus 3. Oops, where'd we go? Wow, it's tried to edit the question. I don't want it to do that. Okay, there we go. So at x, so it's going to be a plus 3. There we go. So that's a plus 3 because it's at negative 3. And then a right 2 also to the first power, but it's a negative 2. Remember, it's opposite is the signs inside the parentheses. Okay, so then this one, we have a negative x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 4. And so the thing to understand when you're looking for this particular graph is you're looking for how many x's you have, and what is that going to be when you multiply it out? Well, x times x times x is x to the third power. And, wow, that's supposed to be a 3, guys. What happened there? Okay, I think there's dog hair on my mouse pad. So then, oh, and don't forget the negative. And so because the negative, and because it's x to the odd power, so if it was x to the positive 3, then it would start off negative and finish off positive. But because there's a negative in front, that means we're actually going to start off positive, and we're going to finish off this guy, finish off negative. Okay. So remember, x to the odd goes in opposite directions. X to the even goes in the same direction. And you can all probably use Desmos or graphing calculators as well just to check your answer. And so that's going to be for this one, which is, so this looked close. Woo. And not those ones. Those are even, both going up, both going up. This one's, ooh, that one's odd, but it's finishing on positive, so don't choose that one. So it would be between these two. Now we've got to look at our zeros. So that's an x, that's going to be a plus 1, good. It's going to be a plus 2, no, that's a minus 2, good. And then a plus 4, good. Where this one is the opposite signs. It's a positive 4 when it should, ooh, that's actually right. But then this one is a negative 1. It should be a positive 1 because it's opposite. Okay. So last but not least for our video, just checking our time because we do have a certain limit. Nope, we're doing good. Okay, so because it won't upload to YouTube, I found out if it's more than 15 minutes. Okay, so our last problem here is factor the following completely, then mark all the factors listed below. So let's show you how to do that one. So up here, here's this one. So remember this one, we have 4 terms. You have x cubed and x squared. They have that in common. Oh, they have some stuff in common. So this is called factor by grouping. Do you remember factor by grouping? If not, go back through my other videos and watch it again because that one will be on the test. Factor by grouping's on the test. So make sure you watch that. There we go. Okay, so you draw a line down the middle, and then you divide or pull out what they have in common. You want to pull out the GCF, right? The greatest common factor. So this has a 10 in common with the 20 and a 10 in common with the 10. And then they both have an x squared. Well, this has an x cubed, but that means it also has a minimum of x squared in it. And this has an x squared in it. And so that's what we're going to go ahead and divide by, and then multiply by. So we're going to pull out that 10x squared. Sorry, it's hard to draw with a mouse. Okay, so then 20 divided by 10 is just 2. There's 3 x's, take away 2 x's, so we have 1 x left. Then a minus. And then 10 divided by 10 just goes away, becomes a 1. There's our minus. And then the x squareds are going to cancel, just leaving us with a y. Nice, nice. Okay, so you try now with the other one. Pause me. Remember, pause me. And try it on your own. Waiting. Okay, so did you try it? So I see a 90 and a 45. Well, 45 and 45 is 90, so that means probably have a 45 that we could pull out. I do see a negative here and a positive here, and that could actually be a problem. Because if we just divide by 45, then you're going to end up that your middle sign is going to be positive when you really want it to be negative. So we're actually going to have to pull out a negative 45, a negative 45, right? Pull out a negative 45. And then they have a y in common and then two y's here. So we'll just pull out one of them because they at least have one y in common. And now when you divide this, negative divided by negative is a positive. So 90 divided by 45 is 2, but it's going to be a positive 2. The y's are going to cancel, just leaving us with an x. Ooh, this is exciting because it's starting to match this side. And that's what we want. And then we have a negative with a positive. It's going to be positive divided by negative is a negative. And then 45 divided by 45 is just 1. So that just goes away. And then 2 y's, right? Y squared. So it's going to get rid of one of them. Let's leave just the y. Beautiful. So now we have something in common. 2x minus y, 2x minus y. We're going to pull out that 2x minus y. That's going to be our first factor for this grouping problem. And then whatever's left is going to be the other factor. And since we have a negative 45 and a 10x squared, that's just going to be what's left. So we have 10x squared is what's left for our other factor, and a minus 45. However, I wonder if there's more of this problem that meets the eye. I think that's just the answer on the practice test. It is. Oh, wait a second. Made a mistake, huh? Let's see. Well, our y's cancel. Oh, leaving us with a y. Don't forget your y. Wait, no. What the? Let's just make sure. So we have 2x minus y, good. We have a 10x squared, good. And then we have a minus 45, good. I think in the solutions on our practice test, hold on. Oh, yeah, that's not supposed to be so we pulled out a 10x squared. Because we pulled it out. And then, because we pulled out a 10x squared, good. That's true. And then with our 45 pulled out, yeah, I think this is actually our answer. So sorry about that, you guys. I'll have to fix that. So they just forgot to do the squared there. That's supposed to be a squared term. And in fact, I think there's actually more to that meets the eyes, because I think you can pull a 5 out. And if you pull out a 5, no, well, you end up with 2x squared minus 9. I was going to say if it was x squared minus 9, if you pull out a 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. If it was an x squared minus 9, then it could have factored more. But because of the 2, it doesn't. So we're okay. Okay, so that'll just be our answer. And we're going to see if we can hurry and fix this before anybody logs on there and does this problem. And so that squared right there needs to be in our answer. So I'll fix that right now. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. You want to see me fix it? This would be cool. I got a minute left. Okay, so what we do is we go to Edit. That's it. Hurry, Newbold. You only got a minute left. And then we go here, where it's 2x squared minus 9y. Huh. Anyways, I'll look at that and fix it for you, but that's definitely something we need to look at and make sure we get the right answer, or make sure I did it right. What the? So I'm going to pause you actually for a second. Pause you. All right, I put my thinking cap on, figured out what they did there. So basically, they so don't forget the y. So we had 10x squared minus 45, good. And let's see here. So we actually pulled out a 45y. So this should have a y here, nice. Because we did pull out, remember we pulled out a y, we pulled out a y. So there should be a negative 45y there. Nice. Then they basically pulled out the 5, so divide by 5, divide by 5. And so that leaves us with 2x squared minus 9y. And then they took that 5 for some reason and I'd leave the 5 on the outside, that should be the correct answer. But they went ahead and multiplied it through and gave us the 10x minus y. So I'll make sure on the test that you factor it completely out. Oh, 10x minus 5y, because you multiply the 5 times y, negative 5y. Yeah, so 10x minus 5y, 2x squared minus 9y. So 5x minus 5y, 2x squared minus 9y. Yep, so that's why. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, don't worry, we got this. It makes sense now. So keep on looking at factoring by grouping, and thanks for watching. Peace out. Peace out. Thanks for watching.